like Aaron Rodgers had to earn it this week as much as it was given to him by Patrick Mahomes. We saw the 3 interceptions by Patrick Mahomes. And I guess the way I can really imagine this is, you ever go to a car show, you know, growing up? You from Texas, you've been in some Dub car shows. Shout out to Dub, what it do? And you're on the way to the car show. Now, you're supposed to have your car towed there, you know, and indoor towing. You ain't supposed to have it just on the back of some U-Haul hitch wagon or something. You're not supposed to drive it as well. But it seems like yesterday, Patrick Mahomes decided, I'm Patrick Mahomes. I just ride up there to the car show and win the car show. Problem is, on the way to the car show, got scraped up a little bit, got dinged up a little bit. People looking at the car like, oh, that's fresh, that's Patrick Mahomes, duh. Wait a minute, what's that? What's that? What's that? We saw scrapes on the car that we've never seen before or anticipated. He had 2 picks before yesterday. He had 3 yesterday in total. Guess what that did to Russell Wilson when he went through his slump of turnovers? Took him out the conversation. Why would Patrick Mahomes be exempt from the same conversation? You look at Aaron Rodgers, it's simple. Aaron Rodgers is looking at a year where he's probably going to lead the league in passer rating. You look at him right now having the edge in touchdowns. He has the stats to go up there and say, I am the winner. So it's about numbers and narrative. Ooh, who's going to win that conversation? Because Aaron Rodgers is going to win the numbers category. Who's going to win the narrative, the story, English class? Still Aaron Rodgers. Why? Because I'm the old man that was left, cast away. They drafted at my position. Not only did they draft at my position first round, they moved up and used resources we could have used to reload. Instead, they're wasted. All of that, and I still am going out there and having an MVP campaign. By numbers, by narratives, and by just simple eye test at the car show, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Here's how I'm going to do this argument. I'm going to say that Aaron Rodgers is not in the driver's seat, and I'll do you like this. The NFL MVP is the award that I can most closely correlate to the Heisman Trophy, right? The Heisman, the pinnacle of college, NFL MVP, pinnacle of the NFL. It's the closest correlation.
I'm like,
if you are Patrick Mahomes, on pace to go 15-1. The only quarterback that can look at his schedule and say, we beat every team on this schedule. There is nobody that beat us. Again, what do I mean? The Raiders beat the Chiefs, but the Chiefs went back and beat the Raiders. You're the only quarterback that can say that. You'll be the only quarterback on pace to have 5,000 yards. 5,000 yards plus 40 touchdowns, plus you beat everybody. There is not a team in the NFL that you did not beat this season. There is no way you can sit here and tell me Aaron Rodgers has a better story, nor is Aaron Rodgers in the driver's seat. The other reason I will say is this, Marcellus. When we think about Patrick Mahomes' worst games this season, we can go back to the Raiders game that they lost if you want to say that. He still threw for, I believe, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. You can say his 3-interception game against the Dolphins, again, if you want to say that. Some crazy fluke interceptions and some miraculous plays by the defensive backs. Shout out Xavier Howard.
Yes.
But you can still say Patrick Mahomes won and Patrick Mahomes threw for 300-plus yards. If we were to go to Aaron Rodgers' worst game of the season, because that's what you do. Let's compare your best to your best. Let's compare your worst to your worst. Aaron Rodgers against Tampa, 2 interceptions. Did he lose 38 was it 10? Were they a pick 6 and then a pick all the way down to the 2-yard line? Did you get pulled in that game because it was such a blowout? Oh,
no, that's protection.
That's protection. I'm just saying.
Blowout.
It was a blowout. He got pulled. So if you really want to say that Aaron Rodgers is in the driver's seat, maybe he is, but Patrick Mahomes is still DJing. Speaking of, let me bring in another guy to add to this conversation. That's NFL analyst Bucky Brooks. Bucky, what's up? So, is Aaron Rodgers now in the driver's seat to win a 3rd MVP?
Yeah, so I hate to tell you, so earlier today I got a chance to look at the trophy, and when I was looking at the trophy, they've already engraved Aaron Rodgers' name on it. Aaron Rodgers is the front runner. It's over with. Because as Marcellus talked about, like, there are a couple different ways that you can approach it. You can approach it as, hey, how did the player come into the year? How was he viewed? And I think when you look at it, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, they were drafting someone to replace him. He got up off the mat. His team is the #1 seed in the NFC. And then when you look at the numbers, 39 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, passer rating of 119.7. And then when you think about who is he playing with? I mean, my guy, Pat Mahomes, is playing with an all-star team. I mean, I think I could throw a couple touchdowns with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, and all those guys. I mean, can we name who Aaron Rodgers is playing with outside of Devontae Adams? No.
I'm waiting.
Alan Lazard MVS, Robert Tonyan, none of those guys that we can get off the corner and play at the park. That's who Aaron Rodgers is doing. So he deserves the MVP, and it's hard for me because I've been very critical of Aaron Rodgers, but I just wanted the best for him. He has responded, and so he should get his third MVP.
Gentlemen, I like the take, Bucky Brooks, when you want to say, well, Aaron Rodgers is playing with less talented people. I like that take, but then you got to push back. And you got to say, wait a second, has a tight end ever led the National Football League in receiving yards since the merger in 1970? I think not.
No, Travis Kelce.
Is Travis Kelce on pace as a tight end to lead the NFL in receiving yards the first time ever in the history of the NFL? Yes, he is. Is that exclusively because of Travis Kelce's dominance? As much as I love Travis Kelce, I would argue it is not. I would argue that Travis Kelce is a phenomenal player, future Hall of Famer, but Patrick Mahomes is also elevating Travis Kelce to heights we've never seen a tight end reach in the NFL. Not Tony Gonzalez, not Rob Gronkowski, not Jason Witten, not Shannon Sharp, nobody except Travis Kelce. So again, I understand that take. I understand your position. I like that position. But if Patrick Mahomes is allowing his players to exceed heights we've never even seen in NFL history, then that has to count as well. The other thing I must caution both of you gentlemen is this. Who do the Chiefs play this week? The Saints. In a prime-time-esque game. It's going to be national spotlight. Everybody about to be watching. Don't sit up here and tell me that if Patrick Mahomes goes out here with the whole world watching, likely a Super Bowl preview, and has 4, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, a very likely stat line for Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions on a national type of stage. Don't sit here and tell me he can't easily open up the door, tell Rodgers, hey, get out. Your boy back in the driver's seat. Don't count Patrick Mahomes out so fast, gentlemen.
Man, Acho up here cooking today, and I can start smelling it too. Smell like some old-ass meat on the grill because Acho is making this stuff crazy.
What happened?
He just dug himself a hole. He just went down the trail, the path of, hey, you ever seen a tight end play like this? Well, guess what? That's MVP worthy. Nobody wanted, what's next, a fullback? What are you going to talk about now? The special teams performance? It's not about that. Let's keep it about who they are, what they're doing, and I could stay there. Let's talk about a quarterback who's leading the league in passer rating and leading the league in passing touchdowns. When's the last time that happened? Acho trivia. Time's up. 10 years ago, who won the MVP 10 years ago? Tom Brady, the last quarterback to do that same feat. And now Aaron Rodgers is going to do it again. But you're going to tell me because a tight end is playing at a historical level, that's going to be the room that you need to win the trophy over Aaron Rodgers? You can't use that as your point. That is a crutch right there. I'm looking at a guy in Aaron Rodgers who's looking at Patrick Mahomes throw 3 interceptions in one game. And Aaron Rodgers is like, damn, dog, you all right? Because I only thrown 4 the entire year. You threw 3 in one game and I only got 4 for the entire year. There's no way to make sense of this in story, in narrative, sympathetic figure, or in the numbers. It's Aaron Rodgers' trophy to lose. Just like a week ago, it was Patrick Mahomes' trophy to lose.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes lost the trophy. He lost it with 3 interceptions. He lost it when I saw him take that 30-yard sack. Whoa. I mean, I don't think an MVP does that. He just spinning around and just gives up 30 yards of real estate. No, that's not something that is MVP caliber. And as you talk about Travis Kelce playing at a level to lead the league, I mean, I think that in itself makes more the argument for Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes is playing with an all-star cast. This is the same cast that also elevated Alex Smith to Pro Bowl level contention. So, I mean, I just don't know how we can sit here and say that Aaron Rodgers won't get it. But I'm glad that you brought up the point about the primetime game and how so many people will define Patrick Mahomes as an MVP as he knocks off the New Orleans Saints. Because I saw somebody yesterday knock off the Saints. And are we going to call him the new MVP? I just wonder. I mean, you know, we're playing tic-tac-toe, and you kind of boxed yourself in. So I know we'll talk about that later.
Cat game. He going to say cat game.
Just remember, you got yourself.
You got yourself. Look, we already brought up the 3 interceptions. We hammered that point down. Come on, man. That ain't MVP worthy. We talked about the 30-yard sack. I got a few sacks in my day. Not a ton, a few. 30 yards? What the hell, boy? They would have gave me a new contract on the sidelines. You get 30-yard sacks. But this one I know Acho is got. This one I know Acho's in the corner. The flat top is starting to box in. He's stuck. You know what? I remember him talking about the safest pass in football is the screen pass, right? And I watched Patrick Mahomes not once, it seemed like twice, the safest passes were those screen passes. How did